The Nikon D5100 manual mode. It's not as overwhelming as it seems. Hey, what's up you guys? Nick here. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Nick. I'm a professional photographer. I've been shooting professionally for the last 3 years, though I've had a camera in my hand for the last 16. I'm in downtown Loveland today with Nick Del Duca. He has participated in the video where I broke the cardinal rule of photography and sent out a raw photo to a bunch of different photographers and editors, and I will link that video right up there. Now today we are downtown to shoot some street photography with the Nikon D5100 with the Yongnuo 1.8 50mm lens, and I have a review on that lens I will link right there, and the Nikon D5100 I have a review for that and I will link that down in the description. But today we're going to go over a basic tutorial on shooting manual mode with your Nikon D5100. I've had a lot of people reach out and ask questions about that, so today we're going to cover all that while doing some street photography. Alright you guys, so the first thing you need to do to shoot into manual mode is you need to go to your little knob up here and you'll turn it to the M. So it goes from auto, P, S, A, M. And the first thing I always want to do is I want to check my ISO. So if you push the I button up here, you can scroll up and down this list. The third one down is ISO. So we're at 100 ISO. I probably want to shoot at about 100 ISO. But from this settings menu, you can go through, pick your different ISOs all the way up to 6400 or high 0.3, high 0.7, high 1, and high 2. Those are more for night shooting. But today we're going to shoot at 100 ISO, so we'll go up and we'll push the OK button to select our ISO. So it is a bright sunny day, you guys, as you can see. So even at 100 ISO, shooting at f1.8, we really have to jack the shutter speed up. So to adjust your shutter speed on the Nikon D5100 in manual mode, it's actually this knob right here. You turn it left or right in order to change your shutter speed. So we're actually shooting at about 4,000th of a second in order to counteract how bright it is out here. I got this awesome mural in front of us, you guys. Because it's blown out by the sun, even at 4,000 speed, at f8, it's still too blown out. So in order to adjust our f-stop in manual mode, you'll push this plus or minus button right here. You'll use your shutter speed adjuster in order to adjust that up and down, like so. So we're going to try it at 3.2. At 2,000th of a, or 4,000th of a second, and it looks like we get perfect exposure that way, and I'm gonna blast that photo up on the screen right now. So as you guys can see, all the controls can be used with your right hand. You can push your button, you can adjust whether or not you're shooting in manual mode or you're shooting in any of the other modes. You can adjust your speed. The only thing you really can't adjust one-handed is your ISO, and that's just because it's kind of set in an awkward position. So one of the things I want to discuss with you guys, and I hope you can see it, but when you're choosing a point of focus with the camera, you actually use these here. So when you're actually looking in the viewfinder or you're using this back screen that's lit up, let me see if I can, you see the green square moving about? That's your focal point. So wherever you put that on, that's what's going to be in focus when you're shooting here in manual mode with this camera. So far we've gotten some great street photos. I think I'm going to do most all of these in black and white. Now, one of the great things about this camera is it does give you the option to have a live feed on your screen. So if you click this lever right here, it opens and closes the mirror. So as you can see what I see, or you can look at your stats from the back and use the viewfinder. So we didn't really discuss a lot of what is on the back of this screen here. At the top you have your quality. I shoot in RAW, as I suggest you shoot in RAW, that way you have full editing capabilities. Underneath that is your white balance. I shoot on auto white balance, that way I'm able to adjust it to whatever white balance I want when I'm getting ready to edit. You know me, I prefer fluorescent or tungsten because I like the cool colors. Below that is our ISO sensitivity, which we discussed on how to adjust earlier in the video. The release mode is right here. So right now we just have quick release, push button. You can do timed, you can do remote, you can do all kinds of neat stuff like that. Underneath that is how we adjust our focus mode. So right now I'm focused on a point, and then we have our area mode set up, our metering set up, our lighting, and our auto bracketing. And that gives us the option to adjust any of those things in real time with one hand. These cameras were definitely built so that you could ergonomically change almost all of your settings with one hand. So we just got back from shooting with Nick Del Duca in downtown Loveland, you guys. I got some amazing B-roll. I hope you enjoyed the video so far. I do notice that some of the glare on the back screen makes it hard to figure out exactly what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go do a quick rundown of the manual mode basics with you. So we have our little screen, as you can see. Let me focus. So that back knob that we discussed earlier, this knob right here, will actually change your shutter speed. As you can see it moving up and down. If you hold this plus or minus button and move the shutter speed knob, the one we just moved, it moves your f-stop, and that'll actually show you how wide or how closed off your f-stop is, and your f-stop number is right there. Now, in order to access your ISO, you push this I button on the back of your camera. You push the I button, and it'll bring up a menu, and in your menu, it'll show you RAW, your white balance, and your ISO, and you use these arrows to move up and down. So we'll pick ISO, and then you can scroll through the different ISO settings that you want to use in order to get the shot that you're looking to shoot, and that way you can get your exposure correct. Now down here, you're actually going to see your exposure meter. So right now we are extremely underexposed, so you would adjust your shutter speed or your f-stop in order to bring that to the middle, which is a proper exposure. If it went the other way, it would show you that it would be overexposed. So plus is overexposed, minus is underexposed. And I know we didn't go into great depth in that in the actual street photography portion of the video, and that's because we had a lot of black back glare on this, so I wanted to give you guys a quick rundown. Now the last thing I want to discuss with you is the focusing. So as you can see on the back of the camera, if I can get the glare to go away, you'll see a little green square. That little green square is your focus point. So you use these arrows on the back to move your focus point on the screen to what you want to focus on. So if wherever that little green square is where you're going to be focusing. Now with the D5100, you don't have to have the back screen open or the mirror open in order to use that bracketing system for your focus. When you're looking through the viewfinder, you'll actually see a series of dots, and if you move the arrow keys up and down, you'll see a red dot to show where your focus point is. Another thing is when you're actually going up to shoot and looking through your viewfinder, at the very bottom you're going to see that plus and minus scale that we discussed for exposure, so you can see exactly what your exposure is going to be at, so you can adjust your shutter speed or your f-stop in order to get the perfect exposure that you are looking for. Again, sometimes I overexpose a photo, sometimes I underexpose a photo, depending on what I'm trying to achieve in that photo. So I want to thank you guys again for joining me and Nick Del Duca. His YouTube and Instagram links are down in the description below. Make sure you go check out his channel. He does a lot of video portraits and vlogs on location scouting. It's really cool stuff. It kind of makes you think of what you can create out of a location. Definitely go check his stuff out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications so you know right when I upload. And share the video if you enjoyed it, because I am at 500 subscribers giving away a Jolly Look camera, and I have an entire video series all about the Jolly Look that I will link up there. So you guys have a wonderful afternoon. That was my rundown on the manual mode with the D5100. In the future, we're going to do one on aperture priority mode, auto, and all of those things. That way you guys have a full understanding of this camera, if it's something you're interested in purchasing, or if it's a camera you already own. So you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye!